All right, guys, it's time to put it all together. So I told you that you were going to get to add just a little bit something else. So I do have my oil pastels out and ready, and I've got my bunny, but I have my other animals as well. But I'm going to keep him off to the side for a second, and I've got my glue, okay? So what I wanted to show you with the oil pastels is, let's say you like how your background turned out, but you like finer lines, or you want to add a little bit extra something to it. You can take your oil pastels and you can draw on top of your paintings. So regardless of whether you did the watercolor version or the marker version, you can go in and maybe add your own details and edges using the oil pastel. So we're making it now kind of mixed media. So if I wanted to go in there with my black oil pastel and kind of add some life back into this poppy, I could do that. I can mix, multiple colors, but I still want to let like the watercolor and the marker kind of be the star of the show. But again, I could go over to these guys and I could add some detail in here, because I kind of lost a little bit. I might have rubbed that part a little bit more. And I could change. I could use a different color too. And so I think you get the idea. It's completely up to you what you want to do, how much you want to do. But it's kind of nice to have that soft background from that watery paints that you created either with the markers or the watercolor paints. And you can add in that little bit of extra texture on top. It just kind of takes it just like, one notch up. So again, it's up to you if that's what you want to do. You don't have to. It is not mandatory. But you've got these materials with you, so you might as well kind of feel it out a little bit and kind of play around and see what inspires you to do the most on your paper. So I lost the blue. The purple one I don't think needs any, but I definitely lost a little bit in this blue down here. And then maybe you want to add a little texture back in with those grasses, or add a different color on top. So it's up to you. So you can definitely see a little bit of a difference between the, just the plain old painting versus adding that oil pastel. And then when we go to glue, we're going to make sure that our animal comes all the way down to the bottom edge, okay, and fills up our space. I'm going to grab my other animals so you can see all three. So there's the bunny. Here's the fox. He covers up a lot. So I would maybe want to think about going back to add in some elements on the side, but hopefully you already figured that out. I didn't test with the fox when I was doing my background. I tested actually with my bear, and my bear takes up the least amount of space, so I see a little bit more of my flowers and my floral decor in the background. So whichever one you did, and maybe you did two because you were really loving the animals and you couldn't choose, you're going to flip that animal over and use either your glue stick, or if you have white glue at home, you could use that as well. It will stick a little bit better to that white glue, but you want to make sure that when you glue, we're not putting our glue right at the very edge. We definitely don't want to do that because that'll make it splooge out to the paper. We want to keep it nice and inside. For my bear, I would probably need just like kind of a circle in the middle, a little U shape down here, and then a dot for each ear, and that's it. If you're using glue stick, make sure you pull your bear or your animal off to the side before you apply that glue stick so that you're not getting glue stick all over your paper, your pretty paper, while you're working. And then you're going to just go ahead and flip it over, make sure it's lined up really good, and then just smooth it out really nice and then let it dry somewhere. If your paper is still curling from the watercolor, you might want to grab a gentle book and put it over the top while everything is drying and finishing up. I am so excited to see the finished projects of these guys. I know they took a little bit while to develop, but they really look great and awesome, and I think you're going to love hanging this on your wall in your house. Have a good one.